2008 Land Rover LR2. Customer complaint, no heat. Driving it, all of a sudden, no more blower motor. No. He'd put his key in, think, turn his blower on, nothing. You know, all the buttons, or all the lights would light up. You know, you turn your fan speed up and down, it would go higher or lower. Well, this one happens to be the blower, or happened to be the blower motor resistor. Did a bunch of research, seen stuff all over the place, didn't really find anything clear on this. So I figured I'd make a little video and hopefully help somebody out. Alright, so to begin with, underneath here, you got that little bolt right there. I think it was a 7mm, 7/8, somewhere in there. And then you're like, well, where the heck is this darn thing? Why am I removing this panel? Well, that's not the only thing you're removing. You're also going to remove the gas pedal here. So, you've got 3 nuts. Let me switch this up. Alright. We got a nut there, a nut up there, and then over here on that back side, right up there at the top, boom, right there. There's the third one. The wiring harness right here, get back to some better light, right there. It unplugs. Ugh. Sorry guys, this is really tight. I hated this one, but right there, you push it on the top, you pull up on the pigtail from there up, that'll pop right off. Get your 3 nuts out. You can take the whole pedal, pull it up, get it out of the way. The reason I'm saying that is because if you look at those purple wires, purple, yellow, right back in there, it's the blower motor resistor. Guys, this is really, it's a pain. A little bit more, but anyway, this thing really sucks. You don't have a lot of room. I'm a big guy. Between here and down and under there. So, it showed you where it was. You take the gas pedal out. You take that cover off. I mean, kind of get up in there. There's foam and carpet right there. You'll have to peel that back some. You got to get something onto it. And it's like an 1/8 to 1/4 turn. And then you'll feel it kind of like snap free finally. It doesn't really snap, but it's really, really tight. And then all of a sudden just gives. Does that. You're able to pull it out. And in the middle of that is when I unhooked it. So you got 2 little tabs. You press the top one. There's a bottom one. The plug itself is kind of long and there's 4 wires on it. So you squeeze the 2 and you pull it out of the blower motor resistor. Once the wiring's out, you got that, it's more like a rubber kind of flooring material. You know, it's under the carpet. It's right there. It's like a styrofoam rubber kind of mat. Once you get that out of the way, you can kind of, the way I did it is I kind of pulled out, kept pulling up, out, up. I was able to set it down once I got it out, pulled it back, and then I was able to kind of fish it out around the wires for the fuel pedal and also the resistor. I kind of just had those tucked up under the dash. Got it out, turned around to get the new one in, did it the opposite direction, you know, put it up in, was able to kind of keep working it. Finally got it there, and then, you know, you gotta, it's a real pain, guys. You gotta get it in that one spot. Once you're able to do that, you gotta kind of push in a little bit and then turn, and you can kind of feel it. It's really, really hard to do. You'll feel it kind of click and lock, and then you can take that, the wiring harness, then plug that back in. You know, I just took and I kind of pushed all the rubber flooring and all that, because I kind of tried to cut it out. It's a mess, though. And then I kind of like took a pair of pliers, because it's hard to get up in there, even with the pedal out of the way. So I took some pliers and kind of helped peel it back. You know, and then I just kind of tried to push that down the best I could, put it back in. And then after the blower motor situation was all taken care of, I then put the fuel pedal back on. I got 1 nut started down here, got it plugged in. And then I was, you know, the other 2 nuts, I kind of just, you know, I did this one and then I did the top one. Went through, snugged them back down. Put the panel on. But I'll tell you, I mean, it's tight, it's rough, but it can be done. You know, like I said, in this circumstance, it just quit. The blower motor itself, you know, everything was lighting up. It was sending power to the resistor. You know, it wasn't sending it to the blower motor. And in the blower motor in this, I'm not 100% sure, but from what I read and everything, it's actually buried behind the radio up in the dashboard. If you take your glove box out, a lot of vehicles, the resistor and the blower motor down under there, it's usually over and under there. So my first instinct, pop the glove box out, take a look. I was wrong. You know, a little bit of research, a lot more looking. You know, I pulled the other panel off. I figured, okay, you know, it's got to be there. You know, and then I've looked up in, you can kind of see what looks like a squirrel cage, which tells me that the motor is possibly up in there. So for my, you know, in my head, it's going to be buried up in there. You'd have to pull all this off in order to get into the blower motor. I'm sure somebody's got a video out there for that. I didn't have to do that in this circumstance, so I'm not 100%. And then I ended up getting over here. I took this off. I found, you know, the ducting, which, you know, is down under there. That's where the blower motor resistor sits, on the firewall side of that. And then I seen the wires, and, you know, I was able to track that down. I seen the picture. I knew that it was going to be a turn and a pop. It didn't have screws or anything holding it in. And that was that. But, you know, I'm a 6'1", 250-pound guy, and it looks like it could be a lot of room until you're down in there and you're trying to get two hands on that, and it did not go very well. But I just hope this helps somebody, and good luck if you're trying to tackle this.